Hello champions, I'm teacher Adam. Welcome to my math class. Today we're going to learn about negative numbers, and it's in the topic of integers. As we said in the beginning, what are integers? Integers are, we define integers by saying integers are the set of both positive and negative whole numbers. So from negative infinity to positive infinity. And actually from integers, as we said, integers we say is a set of both positive and negative whole numbers, and then we say it's from negative infinity to positive infinity. Correct. So it says a set of both positive and negative whole numbers from negative infinity to positive infinities. So for you to be able to understand well the topic of integer, you need to understand, and we say whole number. We know whole numbers is like -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, as you go on, etc. That's it. So we say integers is a set of both positive and negative whole numbers from negative infinity to positive infinity. That's it. Then another thing that we need to understand in this topic of integer and what exactly the IGCSE, both extended and core, will examine you is just understanding this identity, knowing the integers that they are whole numbers, and we have negative and positive, from negative infinity to positive infinity. And then later on, we are going to apply the rules behind integers. For example, if you're adding negative numbers to negative numbers, or you're subtracting negative numbers from other negative numbers, what exactly are you going to get? What is going to happen? So from this unit, the most important also is to understand something called number line. What's a number line? So you know a number line is a line that has digits. A line that has digits. These digits are whole numbers. That's negative and positive, from negative infinity to positive infinity. So I'll draw a line here. And start with 0 is at the center. So from 0, as if you're coming, any number below 0 is negative. Any number above 0 is positive. So we say here all values above 0 are positive values. All values below 0 are negative values or negative numbers. For instance, from 0, say -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, as you go on, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as you go on. So this is continuation. So we now understand. So we have any number below 0 is negative, and any number above 0 is positive. All this is in the topic of integer, and you need to understand integers. For you to understand integer, you need to have this knowledge of number line. Then the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to compare numbers. So in comparing numbers, for example, so in comparing numbers, we understand that the only way you can compare numbers is to know if that number is either small or bigger. Is it bigger or small? And if you're comparing masses, is it heavy or is it light? So you have to have this identity in terms of comparison. So you can compare in comparisons. We compare also the magnitude. If you're comparing the length, that means which one is longer than the other one, which one is smaller. So those are the key terms, mathematical statements that you need to grasp them and understand them. So comparison, we have, if this is our number line, and then we have 0, -1, -2, -3, we have -4, -5, as we go on, and then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as you go on. So what are we supposed to understand in that scenario? So here, in understanding, we can compare. between negative 5 and negative 1, which one is smaller? Obviously, as you're moving far from 0, if you're moving far from 0, a number that is far from 0 is the smallest. So here in that case, in your mind, you need to understand that negative 5 is smaller than negative 4. Negative 5 is smaller than negative 2. Negative 5 is smaller than 0. Negative 1 is bigger than negative 5. Negative 2 is bigger than negative 4. Negative 3 is bigger than negative 4. And negative 4 is bigger than negative 5. So means far from 0. How far you are from 0 if you are a negative number, that's how smaller you are. So if you have, let's say, negative 1,000 and 1 and negative 1, obviously, so here if you have to compare and say which one is bigger, you obviously say negative 1 is bigger than negative 1,000, because this 1,000 is 999 far from 1. That's it in comparisons. Then the next thing we're going to learn is laws of integers. Laws of integers. Yes, so in IGCSE math, this is highly tested, understanding the laws of integers. Rule number 1 is when adding both positive numbers, the answer will be positive. Correct. If you have all positive numbers, the answer will be positive. In what case? Look at this champion. So you have negative 3 plus positive 4. So normally, even sometimes, you can say, if you're having a positive number, like positive 3 plus 4, it can also be represented as this way, or it can be represented as 4 plus 3. All these are positive whole numbers. If you're having positive whole numbers, the sum of these positive whole numbers will be always equal to a positive number. That's it. Positive whole numbers will give you positive answer. That's it. And the rule number 2, when negative follows negative, the resultant is in what manner? If you have a negative, then it follows negative, the resultant will be positive. And here it was positive number follows positive number, the resultant will be positive, the answer. Negative follows negative, the resultant is positive. Rule number 3. When positive follows negative, the resultant is negative. This is positive follows negative. In addition, the resultant is negative. Correct. So all these laws, application, example now. Back to rule number 1. You're going to apply to show how rule number 1 is applicable in negative numbers. For example, you have a positive whole number, which is positive 3. You are adding with positive 4. Positive 3 plus positive 4. We understand, we say a negative and we go back again. Therefore, when you're adding positive whole numbers, your answer will obviously be positive. That's it. Rule number 1. That's it. Even if you say positive 7 plus positive 3, this is the same as 7 plus 3, which the answer is 10. So the resultant is positive whole number. A whole number. When you're adding a positive number to a positive number, you will get a positive answer. Correct. Rule number 2. So we say when negative follows negative, 5 minus 3, what happens? You say the resultant is positive. So it will be 5 plus 3. Even if you apply it in a calculator, negative times negative is always positive. That's what we say when negative follows negative, the resultant is positive. Your answer will be positive 8. Even if you say 7 minus 4, it will be 7 plus 4, which is 11. 8 positive whole number minus 5. What is your answer? Your answer will be 8 plus 5 is equal to 13. Okay, what happens? You have negative 9 minus 10. What happens in that case? In this case, you just negative number will remain negative 9, but this simply because these two negative follows negative, the resultant is positive, so it will be negative 9 plus 10. Negative 9 plus 10, your answer will be positive. So, but here, the resultant has been applied. So, mostly, in most exam, this skill is also highly tested. Rule number 3, we're going to apply on rule number 3 when positive follows negative. So, you have 9 plus negative 4. In that case, we say when positive follows negative, the resultant is negative. Obviously, this is true. 9 plus minus 4, it will be 9 minus 4, which your answer will be 5. That's it. Even if you have, let's say, you have 10 plus minus 6, your answer will be 10 minus 6, which your answer will be 4. Even if you say 8 plus minus 2, your answer will be 8 minus 2, which your answer will go back to 6. Even if you have 3 plus minus 1, your answer will be 3 minus 1, which will be 2. That's it. That's it. When positive follows negative, the resultant is negative. Rule number 4. So when negative follows positive, the resultant is negative. How? You have 9 minus plus 4. Your answer will be 9 minus 4, which is 5. You have 3 minus plus 2. Your answer will be 3 minus 2, which is 1. You have 6 minus plus 3. Your answer will be 6 minus 3, which your answer will be 3. That's it. In IGCSE math, where is the negative, the understanding of negative numbers is highly applicable. It's normally, majority of these questions are normally tested in finding temperatures of different countries. For example, you're told to find the temperature of maybe a specific city. Let's say if here in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, Dodoma, you compare between the temperature of Dar es Salaam, Dodoma, Mbeya, and Mwanza. And then you are told to find the difference in temperatures. Which one is colder, which one is hotter, which one is warm. Those kind of general knowledge in geography. And that's where majority of students now come to fail. For example, if you find a region that has a negative temperature and then you find another region which has maybe a positive temperature, like let's say Dar es Salaam is 26 degrees Celsius, and then we have Mbeya which is maybe is negative, let's say it's negative 10 degrees Celsius. Then you're told to find the difference in temperature. That's where majority of students struggle. But the rest is well understood, provided that you understand, you master these laws in either understanding the laws in addition, that involves in addition, laws that involve in subtractions of integers, and then the laws that involve when you're multiplying negative whole numbers. That's it. So they are the same concept that you need to understand. So for example, if you're told to find the temperature, the negative, you're trying to find the difference of temperatures of specific regions, you just need to understand what you're supposed to do. So majority of the exercise, for example, if you hear, we're going to talk about exercise. Obviously, we say we have the addition property and multiplication property. That's it. So for addition property, we understand, and for negative number, understand. So for multiplication purpose also, we also understand. For example, so we can have different exercise. For example, you have maybe 3 plus negative 4. You need to understand. We know when positive follows negative, the resultant will be negative. So 3 minus 4, and your answer becomes negative 1. And then you have, let's say, negative 5 plus negative 8. So negative 5 plus negative 8, we know it's negative whole number. When positive follows negative, the resultant is negative. When positive follows, the resultant is negative. When positive follows negative, the result is negative, and then you say negative 5 minus negative 8 is minus 13. That's it. And then we have 7 minus 10. We say when negative follows negative, the resultant is positive, and your answer becomes 17. Then rule number, another example, here it says negative 8 minus 1, negative 6. So what we'll do is just put it negative 8 minus 6. So when negative follows negative is positive. Therefore, say negative 8 plus 6. Your answer will be negative 2. Negative 8 plus 6 is negative 2. I'll solve later tomorrow to show you how you can solve this question using number line. The same. the next understanding on laws of integers. So we're going to the laws of integers that involve multiplication property. So laws of integers involving multiplication. So here we're talking about, now you're going to multiply. For example, you have negative times negative. We say it's positive, rule number 1. Rule number 2, you have positive times positive, you get your answer as positive. Rule number 3, you have a positive number multiplied by negative number, your answer is negative. And then rule number 4, you have negative whole numbers multiplied by positive whole number, your answer will be negative. That's it. Example, rule number one we say when we multiply negative whole numbers, so you have negative 3 times negative 4. We say when negative times negative is positive, negative times negative is positive, so you get positive 12. That's it. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, example, you have 3 times 7. Your answer will be 21, positive whole numbers. When multiplying negative, so for example here, you have, if you're having, let's say, negative 2 times negative 3, your answer will be 2 times 3, which is 6. Negative times negative is always positive. The resultant is positive. When you have positive numbers like 4 times 6, your answer will be, this is because they are positive. You can have the signs or not, but understand when there is no sign, it's a positive. 21. And then rule number 3, positive 7 times negative 3, your answer will be negative 21. So these two answers are different. Then number 4, you have negative 8 times positive whole number, you get negative 32. When negative is multiplied by positive, the answer is negative. That's it. So these are majority of the questions that you will experience in integers. There is nothing more. The next is just applying this in solving questions. So these ones, we are going to learn how to apply this in solving questions and understanding how to, for example, if you are asked to write integers that are found within a specific inequality. So we are also going to learn more on comparing these numbers and finding integers within a specific frame. That's it. So stay at the top, champion. Stay connected. Bye-bye.